Hey YouTube, today I wanted to discuss the so-called Cash-for-Clunkers program. This program was one of the most wasteful programs I could ever imagine. It's hard to think of anything positive to say about the program, but the news is that it may be making a comeback. Certain people are pushing for this to happen. At the 2010 North American International Auto Show in Detroit, Secretary of Transportation Ray Lahood, actually called Cash-for-Clunkers the most wildly successful program ever. That's pretty strong words. And he also added that you see no criticism of Cash-for-Clunkers in America. This is complete crap. All you have to do is look on YouTube and you find a lot of videos of people exposing the idiocy that is the Cash-for-Clunkers program. There are also some news articles that are more critical of it, although those tend to be more favorable. One thing I found that was really interesting I came across was an article about a Wilbur Ross Jr. This came out on January 13th, and it was in, I think it was Business Week online. He formed a group called the International Automotive Components Group, which was formed by him buying distressed parts makers. Now, he said that he wasn't as profitable in 2009 as he expects to be in 2010. Well, how come that is? Well, he is pushing for the Cash-for-Clunkers program to come back. Now, Ray Lahood, he says that he would leave it up to Congress to decide, as if the executive branch can make this decision, as if Secretary Lahood himself could decide for this to happen. I also might add that Secretary of Transportation Lahood is from the same state as Barack Obama. He's from Illinois, so that shouldn't be too much of a surprise. I remember one of the things that a lot of people that were criticizing Cash-for-Clunkers were saying was that that there would be more auto repossessions in the future because people were buying cars that they couldn't afford. Well, turns out that is exactly what's happened. Now, among higher credit risk buyers, there's actually been a higher rate of repossession and late payment rates among those who participated in the Cash-for-Clunkers versus those who did not. And also, 1 in 5 buyers who participated in the Cash-for-Clunkers program had buyer's remorse, whereas those who didn't participate in the program had a lot less buyer remorse. It was only 1 in 20 in that case. Now, I know this may sound like a bunch of facts, but it actually shows some interesting things here. Now, this case of Wilbur Ross Jr., it's like he's something right out of Atlas Shrugged. I don't know if you've read this book, but in this book it describes people who are attempting to influence government instead of competing on the open market. They seek government influence. And this is exactly the kind of what John Stossel calls the crony capitalism that we experience today. It's the very thing I oppose. And I also want to say something too. Now, a lot of this opposition to the Cash-for-Clunkers program, I'm sure, is based off of people opposing the Democrats. A lot of people probably oppose it anyway. But, there are some people who would oppose it just because it's a Democratic program. Well, I did some research, and this Cash-for-Clunkers idea is not a new one. It was actually, back in the early 90s, Bush Sr. actually pushed for a similar program back then. There was actually an interesting article I came across that was saying that it came from the state legislature's publication, and it was saying that this program would actually hurt the poor. It's done exactly that. I feel like that the prices of the trucks and SUVs have gone up. I've been looking online a lot lately, and it seems like that you'd be paying a lot more than you used to. I mean, I'm seeing trucks that are going for $3,000 something that are from the 80s, not even from the 90s. The 90s ones are even more expensive. The good news about this program is that the very people that were criticizing it, the Austrian economics people, got me to look at things very, very differently. They were one of the few people that were actually speaking out against this program. In future videos, I'm going to explain the negative environmental consequences of this program, as well as the negative economic consequences and other aspects of the program. I'm doing this in anticipation that they may make a push for this program to be restarted. So I'm hoping that my videos can be informational and maybe help persuade a few people. So if you feel like it, you should write your senators and congressmen about them and say no to any new Cash-for-Clunkers program. This program is bad for the poor. I'd be happy to post links in the sidebar with any of the articles that I've discussed. And there'll be more information to come in the future. Thanks for watching.